What's going on, champs and champions? It's FireMonkey here, and I'm gonna be honest, right? I don't know how you guys deal with me sometimes, because I just tried recording this video, right? I got everything prepared, I got OBS open, I mean, we're in the middle of a match right now, we just started it off, everything was going super smooth, right? But instead of me actually starting the recording, you know what I was doing instead? I'm just gonna show my screen here. I'm gonna pop it up. I know this isn't related to Fortnite leaks at all, but bear with me here. I was listening to a Hatsune Miku cover of Blinding Lights, and there was just a moment, right, where I was like, you know what, do I really want to make a video, or do I just want to sit here and look at the weirdest Hatsune Miku Vocaloid covers of songs? And that was like a 10-20 minute singing along session, so welcome one and all. Of course, since, you know, we don't really have that much to talk about regarding leaks or news or anything, this video is just a little bit more rambly, so hopefully you enjoyed that wonderful introduction to the video. I know I personally did. And let's talk about what there is to talk about, which is, of course, brand new challenges being finally available for us to do in game, if we so desire. Of course, the first thing is something I talked about yesterday, which is the mid-season drops. It does appear that, unlike what support had said, like I mentioned in yesterday's video, these do require you to actually earn more account levels, which does bring the whole entire question back regarding people who are level 1000 this season. Will they be able to obtain these by any means, or are they just kind of, you know, locked out of it for good? Is it a situation where they're just gonna have to contact support, you know, hope they don't get their account banned for some suspicious activity or whatever? Because, you know, a lot of people do get worried about contacting support nowadays due to all the random bans and stuff that happened in the past with people like, you know, iTalk and stuff. So, you know, it's a valid concern why people might just be like, nope, don't want the mid-level season, or I guess mid-season level styles this time around. I'm just gonna pass on those, right? But of course, it really just waits to be seen if Epic Games does do anything about this, or if they just completely ignore it, right? If they're just like, meh, it's whatever. Maybe, you know what, even there is also a chance that maybe you're still able to gain normal account levels. So if that's the case, then, you know, it's like, that's not even a concern at all, but it is something that I thought about, and it is something that's been kind of going on, you know, recently, especially since I was accurate with the information I provided in the other video, which is a W to me. But of course, you know, it's just a little way to talk about those challenges officially releasing. It is nice to see that they are officially here, though, because it does give us things to do in the game, especially if we're trying to grind out something, you know, we're just trying to find a reason to play Battle Royale after we've already done all of our normal challenges and stuff. It gives us another thing to log in for. Now, there was some miscommunication in yesterday's video that I had noticed based on some of the replies, and I would like to clear that up right now at the beginning of today's video, and that relates to when the challenges are available and unavailable. Once the challenges become available, so once, like, you know, for example, Celine, which is this week, becomes available for you to actually do, those stay available until the very end of the season. So you don't have to worry about logging in and making sure you're doing the challenges, gaining 10 levels each week. No, these are available for you to do at any time until the season ends, so you really have nothing to worry about, right? If you're someone who might be on vacation, you might be taking a break from Fortnite or whatever, you are still completely available to earning all the rewards and everything as long as you earn them before the season ends. So, you know, I thought I'd put that in here just to clear up some confusion and everything I saw, just because, you know, there was some confusion going on. Now, in other news, in terms of the actual weekly challenges we got this week, they were honestly super easy, right? Like, even like the 2 different 5-stage challenges, those were super easy as well. Only one of them was a little tedious, which is the one I'm kind of working on right now. So if we go over to this week, you'll see that the challenges are pretty simple, right? It's stuff like search containers while under the effect of slap. Now, it does appear if you have the augment that makes it so you get the slap effect whenever you hurdle or mantle over an object, it doesn't count. However, that might have just been a bug I was having earlier, and maybe it does, but just keep that in mind that you might actually have to go farm some of like the slap berries and stuff, which you can find a lot of over in this area and right down here, and, you know, like the orangish yellowish areas are where you typically find a lot of slap berries. So keep in mind, you know, you are able to actually find a lot of slap berries, but the actual augments might not affect it. And then we just have some simple ones like landing direct hits on players with the Excalibur rifle, activating 4 augments in a single match, dealing damage with bows, sprinting for 100 meters while under the slap juice effect. Tons of simple stuff that really just kind of makes sense and, you know, aren't going to be difficult challenges at all. And since we actually got the augment I was just talking about, and we know there's an ammo box up here, we're going to quickly mantle and see if it does actually count, or if that was just a weird glitch that was happening. So yeah, as you can see right there, it can detect the difference between an augment slap juice effect and an actual slap juice usage, so you won't be able to use the augment in order to complete the challenge. Just keep that in mind, and it also could just be because of the fact that the normal, you know, augment has a very slow duration, or I guess, you know, expires real quickly compared to using like the actual barrels and stuff like that. And honestly, you know, in terms of the challenges this week, it is kind of interesting to see just the wide variation of how they've changed, right? Because in the past, we had the whole entire challenge where it was like super specific stuff, right? It was like, you know, hunt a frog and eliminate them while they're within 5 meters of you, right? It's like something super specific that you would really have to keep your eye out for, and you would have to find a lot of frogs in order to do those with, and you have to make sure you're close enough, whereas this time around, it's literally just like, play the game, use a guardian shield, right? It's like there's nothing really too concerning about these that would really be difficult or really be too specific. It's literally just use the new weapon that we added to the game, you know, that we unvaulted for everyone to use, and play the game, right? Use some of the newer cosmetics, or I guess, you know, items in general, like the Excalibur rifle, use the bows whichever turned to the island, just use our stuff, right? It's like this time around, it seems like the challenges are just a lot simpler than they were last week, and it is nice to see that we're kind of getting an easier week, because I'll be honest, one of my friends who was playing a little bit earlier today, from what they told me, they were able to do these weekly challenges in like 3 matches. Of course, like most of them were done in their first match. They also got like a bow vending machine right away and all that stuff, so you know they had like a good drop spot or whatever. But from what I heard, the challenges are pretty simple. The only one that really takes a while is that one where you have to actually go around, activate the slurp effect, or I guess, you know, the slap effect, my bad, and you have to actually, you know, open up chests and stuff like that, because, you know, you can't use the augment. You have to actually get slap juice and use it either from the berry, from actual containers that you break on the map, or from the actual like energy drink item version of it. You do have to actually use the slap juice thing, and that was the one that took the longest amount of time. But even like stage 5 and stuff I heard wasn't ridiculous, because where in the past it was like, oh, you know, hide in 500 bushes, grab 500 slap berries or whatever, while those were super tedious, this one's just like, open 10 containers, now open 15. Now open 20 and open 25, right? There's no massive jump to the hundreds or anything like that. Pretty simple challenge this time around, so, you know, I'm pretty pleased with them. And overall, I do think that this is going to be more of a chill week for Fortnite, especially since they're finally off of break. You know, they're finally coming back to the game. They're going to start working on bugs, you know, working on the next update, finishing that up and everything else. It is just more of a chill week where we're starting to see more hot fixes and stuff actually get put into the game. You know, all of that content and stuff we were waiting for that Epic Games didn't put in the game at all yet, because of the fact that, you know, technically we were still in Winterfest, which is officially ended, the cabin's gone and everything. So now we should start slowly seeing some small updates leading up to the actual big update, which is in around 2 weeks, and it's just a way for us to kind of, you know, chillax and vibe for a little bit and enjoy a new item. I was really hoping I could find, you know, the actual shield so I could show it off here for you guys, because when I was playing earlier, right, I obviously didn't play too much, but I did find like a shield like right away, and then I backed out. I was like, you know what, maybe I should wait until I'm actually recording a video to experience how the shield works and everything like that, despite us, you know, obviously looking at it in a private server or whatever else. So that is something that, you know, kind of sucks, but from my understanding, it can spawn from normal chests, and it can also spawn from those oathbound chests as well, and I think it could be floor loot if I remember correctly. Yeah, actually, yeah, I remember correctly. From based on the files and all the leaks and everything, it can also be floor loot as well, so there are tons of ways to actually go about getting the shield. And it's just a nice little chill week for Fortnite, right? Not too much going on, but not too much of bad things are going on either, right? It's just a very calming week of the game where you don't have challenges that are really going to be frustrating, but of course you still always have that weekly challenge, which is get 50,000 XP in creative maps if you so desire, so keep that in mind. And actually, speaking of creative, I think as a little bit of a final ramble for today's video, something I should mention to you guys is that these mid-season challenges, the one where you have to actually gain levels and stuff, these do count in creative mode. So if you gain XP in creative mode, these will count towards those. The only issue is that it will show up visually like, oh, these can't be completed in this mode. That is just oh, well, hey, there's the shield. But that's just because the reason it doesn't show up like that is because they specifically have it set to visually show that, because they don't want the challenges to be something that you would go in creative mode and it's just like a pre-safety. You know what? The best way to describe it, my bad about stuttering on that or whatever, is that the reason it says in your menu whenever you're in creative mode that the mid-season drops can't be done in that mode is because it's a precaution in case they weren't to do levels, right? If it was to be something like kill 1 million enemies in the game, right, it wouldn't work in creative mode. But since levels are going to count no matter which mode you're in, even if it doesn't show up visually on that menu, it will still actually progress properly and everything out there. Now, the only place that it does not progress properly, because Epic Games doesn't really know how to make that system work, it appears, is Save the World. I've heard about friends who have gained like 3-4 levels from Save the World today once the challenges have released, and haven't actually gained any progress at all towards those brand new challenges, towards those mid-season styles. So keep that in mind if you are a mainly save the world player who uses that mode to grind for XP, that the XP does not appear like it's going to be properly counting towards the mid-season drops, and you will have to play either creative mode or battle royale in order for those to actually progress. With that said, however, I know today was just a very rambling type of video. Hope you enjoyed it, of course. You know, I like this live commentary style we've already talked about, and I will see you champs and champettes tomorrow with another YouTube video. Peace out.